I've been hiking for 45 minutes now. Started out at 5:30. There were people camping along the road down there at 5:30 eating breakfast, but they're all walking, sitting around camp, yelling "Hey bear" and yelling and making all kinds of noise. I can still hear them. I'm about a mile away now. I see some of the craziest things when I come out here. Today is going to be a hot one, so I'm going to stay along the creek the entire way. It's pretty hard to see a grizzly bear out in the open when it gets hot. They'll be in this kind of area along the creek and or off in the trees in the shade. The thing is, you got to be careful of bears laying down along the creek, sleeping. I've run into a few bears doing that, and with all the trees, it's hard to spot a bear from a distance. You can't see very far. So I'm being very careful, walking slowly, very quietly. Not using my voice at all other than talking on this video quietly right now. See where something's laid down right there. But the last thing I want to do is wake up and frighten a grizzly bear. Something else laid down in there. Probably elk. The last thing I want to do is wake up and frighten a grizzly bear with my human voice. So I like to stay very quiet, respectful, not disturb anything or upset anything. As you can see, there's not much of a trail in here, but this is a trail. Not many people go in this area. This is July 19th. Right now, if you're hiking in Yellowstone, you want to make sure you have your mosquito repellent. And depending on the area that you're hiking, once it starts getting really hot around noon, 11 o'clock, noon, the deer flies or the biting flies will start coming out. The only way to protect yourself from that is wear long sleeves, long pants, and you might want to have a mosquito net, which I'll wear because I really hate those biting flies. The mosquito repellent does no good. And those things will go down your shirt. Those biting flies will go down your shirt and your back and everything else. It can be miserable. So having a mosquito net that you can put over your face and neck is the way to go. The downside is that even makes you hotter. So, like I said, I like to stay along areas that have a creek so I can cool off. Right now it's beautiful out here. It's about 45 degrees. Really nice. So as you can see, I'm talking into my GoPro right now while I'm videoing with my other camera, but I'm just showing you how I move. I'm going very slowly, quietly. Now if I run into a grizzly bear or a grizzly bear sees me, it's in a calm state, has no reason to be upset, doesn't hear a loud screeching human voice where it's going to be frightened and have to protect its cubs or something in a frightened state. And grizzly bears spot me before I spot them. They simply look and very peacefully and slowly walk away. But in all the years I've been doing this and all the videos I have out there, I have never once had a bad encounter with a bear. They've always respected me the same way that I show respect to them. It's about being peaceful, quietly hiking, and being respectful of their home. Like I always say, you need to do what you think is best for you. If you don't agree with what I'm doing, you should do what you think is right. I'm just showing you the way I do it, what I've learned from many years of doing this, being around lots of grizzly bears. If you visit my channel, you'll see I've got at least 100 videos out there with grizzly bears. But you should do what you think is best for you. Hiking in groups is probably the safest thing you can do, but groups are very noisy and you're not going to see any wildlife. If you're on a solo hike, then you need to decide how you want to do it. For me, the last thing I want to do is come out here making a lot of noise. I want to see the wildlife out here in God's beautiful creation and respect them. The thing about making noise with your voice is grizzly bears will react 100% of the time, either running away or running at you. So if you're in a group of people that are making noise and a grizzly bear sees that group, the last thing he wants to do is charge a group of people. But if you're solo hiking and frighten a grizzly bear with your human voice, you're the only one standing there, you could have a problem. So for me, it's all about keeping everything, the grizzly bears, everything in a nice, calm state, like they start out. Don't do anything. I don't want to do anything that will upset them. One of the reasons you always see me wearing these gaiters is you can see these stickers that are going to be coming out. As soon as those things start drying out in another week, they are terrible. Also, right now, the ticks aren't so bad, but these gaiters really help keep the ticks, insects off of your legs. Keeps your legs dry with all the morning dew and wetness on the grass. You can crawl across small creeks and not get wet. Anytime it's muddy, raining and muddy, it keeps the mud off your pants. So there's a lot of reasons I wear these gaiters. I get mine from Kinetrek or REI, but you got to be tall enough to do you some good and get the most expensive ones they have. Make sure it's the kind of material that stickers aren't going to stick to, and make sure they're waterproof. Of course, you have to have waterproof boots on. As most people know, I wear these Kinetrek boots. They're very good boots, comfort, waterproof. The only drawback is they can be kind of clunky and noisy if you're not careful. See all these stickers getting ready to dry out in here. You get those things stuck in your socks. Not very fun. This, you can see the trail here, but this trail is probably 90% used by wildlife. But you can see where time to time they do come up here, cut the logs every few years. There is a lot of down timber right now over this trail, but really nice out here. Oh. There was a grizzly right there. I couldn't get my camera out in time. He was just right there by that tree. Saw me coming up over this hump. Let me get my GoPro out. So the grizzly was just right there. I was coming right up over this hump right here. Spotted me before I had a chance to get my camera out. But he's right up ahead of me there on the trail. I'll go ahead and continue up this way. Hopefully I can see some tracks on the trail. But this trail is really hard, and that kind of trail, it'd be impossible to see grizzly tracks right now. Let's see, came right through here and see how all this grass is laid down. Really wide. Grizzly bear, but it's very hard to tell. One other thing to note is he obviously knows I'm here, saw me around, so that actually makes it safer since the bear already knows you're here. So you don't have to worry about any surprises. I don't know where he went. I see no fresh tracks of any type going through here. He crossed the creek here. I'm not sure where he went. Might have went up that way. Might have gone across the creek. Yeah, that's where these gators are nice. I do not see any grizzly tracks. So. Lots of wildflowers. Something got off the trail right here. Went right through here. Right along here. These tracks are definitely elk or moose. So this grass is up to my waist high. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for any kind of black hump just showing up on top of the grass, because it's really hard to spot a grizzly bear in this high grass. So you just got to look for any kind of black hump. And if it's a grizzly bear, it'll always be moving. Any kind of black hump that's moving will be a bear. You see where something's been going through here. You can see where something went right up through there. think I need to be even more quiet. Like I say, these Kennetrack boots are a little clunky, so if I'm not thinking about it, I can make a lot more noise than I want to make. For solo hiking, I think this walking kind of noise, just the noise of walking, is the perfect noise to alert a grizzly bear. It's not the human voice that's going to frighten them. It's just a walking noise in which they'll look up, hear, or start smelling and detect you. Another thing I mention quite often is always watching for grizzly bear signs, mainly fresh tracks and fresh scat, but also knowing where you're at. I'm in a very high grizzly bear habitat area. It's one of the most dense areas for grizzly bears in the lower 48. So knowing that they're around keeps you very aware and observant for any kind of bear signs. Even then, I've walked right by plenty of grizzly bears. Didn't know it until I turned around and saw them. So, got to be as observant as possible. This is a really nice area to see a bear. Don't see one. So in a spot like this, you won't be able to see the bear in the willows. So what I'm looking for is the top of the willows, any willow that's moving or wiggling. That will tell you there's something in there. So when I look in here, you'll see that everything is nice and still, not moving. Like all the wildflowers, I've been going off trail for quite a while now. This is a very good area. Also for bears. I like to check this area out. The funny thing is, I've never seen a grizzly bear in this area. But there's lots of food. It's a perfect area. But you can see where grizzlies do come out here. You see where one scraped off the top of that ant pile this spring. Looks like the afternoon thunderstorm is coming in. Well, the thunder and lightning and rain's getting close. So I think I'll take shelter down in there. Started to rain a little bit out there. Not too bad. This looks like a little bit of an animal trail going through here. So I'll try to stay on this. Right there's the other side. Perfect grizzly bear habitat. As usual, gotta find them. Now it's coming down pretty good.